Hello everybody. So I'm just going to give you a really quick little tutorial this morning on the best way to blow dry your hair, to make your blow dry last, to get your hair nice and sleek and smooth with a bit of volume at the root as well. So it doesn't all just start when it comes down to the blow drying. It starts from the washing. So you need to make sure that you have washed your hair correctly and you've rinsed and that you have applied your conditioner correctly. So head back to my grid. There's an IGTV on washing your hair. I've had loads of feedback from people about these tiny little tips and changes that they've made that have made a really big difference to their blow dry lasting and them not having to wash their hair as regularly. So definitely go and take a look. So you would have washed your hair and correctly from the way that I've recommended that you do so. I would always make sure your hair towel dry it so it's not dripping wet before you get to it. However, if you have a fringe or like a parting or your hair can be a bit tricky, then I would recommend like not leaving it in a towel too long because it will start drying, or if your hair's really fine and dries quickly. Now, you shouldn't have any tangles in your hair because you're going to have washed your hair correctly. You're going to have conditioned your hair in the correct way. So you shouldn't be struggling with a tangle. Always use a comb to dry your to brush your hair when wet, or something like a wet brush or a tangle teaser. Don't be using like a round brush or something. And whenever you brush your hair, it's harder for me to explain it because my hair is short, but say you have long hair, always start at the ends and work your way up. Don't start up at the root and drag down, because any tangles that you have here, here and here are all just going to clump together and you're going to be really sort of like pulling at the ends of your hair, which is why a lot of the time people with longer hair can end up with really split ends. So you're going to start at the bottom and like gently ease it out. I'm going to use leave-in conditioner. So again, if you find your hair does get a bit tangly, make sure you use a leave-in conditioner. So little tiny pea size amount into your hands, distribute it through evenly so you haven't got big bulks in there. Long hair, you're going to start at the ends. I'm still going to start at the ends even though mine is short. So don't just slap it onto the roots because you'll create sort of, well, it won't be greasy, but it won't be. Right, so you're going to put your hair in a rough parting that it's in, wherever your parting is. Popped in your leave-in conditioner, and then for the short, for me, because I've got short hair, I'm just going to use a little bit of texturizing pomade just to give my hair a little bit of texture. So again, a small amount distributed in and through my hands, and just I'm going to kind of scrunch it in. If you have longer hair, you could use like a frizzies, you know, like a frizz controller or a smoother of some kind. Okay, and then once that's all done, you, again, like I said, you don't want your hair to be dripping wet. So if my hair's fine, but if you have thick hair, you really do want to be using your towel and you really want to be getting out as much excess moisture as you can before you make a start with the hairdryer, because otherwise you are just going to be overheating your hair completely unnecessarily, just trying to get rid of moisture. So once it's towel dried, no drippiness, you're going to get on with your hairdryer. Obviously you're not going to be able to hear me over this hairdryer, so I will stop and share with you what I'm doing. But what we're going to do is we are going to blow dry our hair without a brush until it is probably, I would say, 80% dry. The only time you're not going to do that is if you have a fringe. You're always going to work on your fringe area first because you don't want that to dry off in a funny direction. Okay, so you'll see me as I'm doing this. I'll dry it to like 80% before I take a brush to it, and I'll do the front of my hair first. Okay, and then I'll stop the hairdryer and carry on talking to you. Now, you just want to always, I would recommend a nozzle. It's going to take a little bit more sort of practice in the direction you use your hairdryer, but it is going to make a massive difference for you to getting a smooth, sleek blow dry and like reducing any frizz. You want to make sure that you're always pointing the heat and the nozzle from root down to tip. You don't want to be going up at this angle, because you'll be blow drying your cuticles up away in the opposite direction they should be doing, which is going to open them up and create a look of frizz. So you always want to be working down, okay? Obviously I'm quite handy with the brushes because I am a hairdresser, but if you're not, you know, get yourself some clips, or if you've got a lot of hair and you're just going to section back. And then with brushes, I would always say, it doesn't matter what your hairstyle, I would always go with a round brush, a ceramic kind of round brush, because you don't have to have direct heat on it constantly. As the hairdryer heats up the brush will gently dry and style your hair at the same time. Okay, so if you've got a fringe, even if you have a side fringe, I would always recommend drying like a fringe forward so that you get that sweeping effect. If you try and dry to the side, you can sometimes end up with a bit of a kink. I'm going to go from root down to tip, and we're going to touch the hair with the hairdryer. We're not going to touch the hair. Right, so then you can put your hair into your parting and you can see it just sweeps over nicely. Now, for me, I do it kind of really quickly and rush, but I would say if you're doing it for yourself, you're going to want to section off. I've got an undercut, so I've got less hair here that I don't have to worry about. So for me, it's just about sectioning off through my parting here. And then I just pop a little hairband in just to remove that bit. And then I just do 1, 2, 3, like so. Each side with the round brush and the back. Again, same. Just coming down, smoothing it. You want to kind of come up at the root and then down to get that root lift. And always keep the hairdryer moving. Don't keep it on your hair. Okay, so my hair dries very quickly. And then through this bit here, I'm just going to take that into 2. So I'm just going to bring that bit forward. I'm going to put the hairbrush in, and you're going to go back through your parting. It will create a root lift through your parting rather than drying it like in the way of the parting. We're going to work on the parting you're going to want the parting sort of in the middle, and you're going to work back, and as you can see, you're going to lift up and back, and it's going to create a lift at your root so you're not flat. You can see, because the hairbrush is hot, you can run it through and it will continue to smooth your hair over as it cools. And then what I always do, once you've blow dried it, is just go through it. Again, with the hairdryer pointing downwards. Going to get a little bit of texturizing. Now this can be used, this is good for short hair if you're styling but if you get flyaway hair and your hair's long, you can use this just to smooth over the ends. So I'm just going to pop a little bit in to here, and then voila, there we go. It's texturized. Not doing anything special today, but it will just be nice and clean and fresh and volumized. So there we go. All the products used are of course vegan and cruelty free and very kind to the planet. So please do get in touch if you are interested in the products that I have used today. Let me know if you've managed to learn something today from my blow drying tips, and share your blow dries with me. Tag me in your pictures. Okay guys, bye.